曾经的我心比天高。
Once upon a time, I was proud and arrogant, nitpicking every flaw in the people I met through matchmaking. Nothing was ever good enough. Now, at 35, I don't even have anyone to introduce me to anymore, and I'm genuinely starting to panic. These days, I no longer care about houses, cars, or dowries. I'd even be willing to pitch in for the 3 golds, or 5 golds, and I don't need a wedding banquet or professional photos. None of that matters. Even so, no one seems interested. Is it really coming to the point where I need to learn how to cook? Well, today I tried, and I ended up cutting my hand, hurt so bad I couldn't stop crying. It's true what they say, if I'd known it would come to this, why did I act that way back then? If someday I meet someone who doesn't mind my age, I swear I'll cherish him and build a steady, peaceful life together.
我觉得大龄单身真的是太难了。
I feel like being single at an older age is just so tough. Today, I got into another fight with my mom. This is the biggest point of conflict between us right now. In her eyes, if I don't get married and have kids, I'm nothing, and I'll never be happy in this life. She keeps saying I'm getting old and that if I don't have a kid soon, I'll be useless. No matter what I say, whether it's gentle or harsh, kind words or tough ones, she just won't listen. Honestly, I do long for marriage, and I envy the people around me who seem happy, but I believe marriage is something you have to approach carefully. Marrying someone I like is the only way it might work out happily. Marrying someone I don't like? That's a guaranteed recipe for misery. I think finding someone you can truly live with is incredibly lucky, something worth cherishing and even showing off. But you also have to accept that you might not get that kind of happiness. I don't care what others think of me, but when I work hard to make my life better and things start looking up, my mom still puts me down. Today, she said I've studied myself stupid, called me an idiot, and blamed me for turning her hair white and keeping her up at night with worry. I just broke down emotionally.
之前我说我可以花38万8娶一个温柔的男孩子回家。
I previously said I could spend $388,000 to bring a gentle boy home to marry. Okay, I got that wrong. That $388,000 is a dowry, not a bride price. Also, some people have mentioned wanting to be a live-in son-in-law and bringing along a few kids from a previous marriage. Please, I beg you, spare me. I'm not here to be your fallback option. If you dare to have so many kids, you should be the one raising them, don't come to me for help. And expecting someone else to raise them after remarrying? Is that even realistic? Why not just get back together with your ex-wife? If you can't take care of them properly, why have so many kids in the first place? And now you're looking for someone to take over the burden? Oh my God, the way you're scheming really blows my mind. So, please, guys like that, stop contacting me. I can't handle that kind of weight, I'd rather take care of myself properly.
没有男生会喜欢年龄大的。
No guys seem to like older women. I know quite a few amazing single women who often say, I have a car, a house, a stable job, and a decent income. But the thing is, guys don't really need those things when looking for a partner. They're just bonuses for you. What do men value? Youth, beauty, and good fertility. In their eyes, an older single woman, no matter how great her conditions are, can't compare to a young, pretty waitress who only graduated from middle school. Guys, do you think that's true?
为什么好男人都没有对象？
Why are all the good men single and unattached? Because they're awkward with words and thin-skinned. They don't know how to sweet talk or play games. When they date, it's always with marriage in mind, so they don't start a relationship lightly. Good men have their own principles and can't bring themselves to be jerks. Once they fall for someone and start getting close, they give their whole heart, which also makes them the most vulnerable to getting hurt.
90%的女生呢都跟我说喜欢这样子的男生。
Why are all the good men single and unattached? Because they're awkward with words and thin-skinned. They don't know how to sweet talk or play games. When they date, it's always with marriage in mind, so they don't start a relationship lightly. Good men have their own principles and can't bring themselves to be jerks. Once they fall for someone and start getting close, they give their whole heart, which also makes them the most vulnerable to getting hurt.
女孩子之所以变成大龄女孩是因为不好骗。
Girls don't end up as older singles because they're hard to fool, it's because they always expect others to pay a steep price to win them over. But some guys think, why bother? Why not just find a 24 or 25-year-old girl, make her happy, and call it a day? She'll even call me Big Brother. So, if you want to break out of this weird cycle, you can't both criticize him and expect to have him. I think, girls, you can want whatever you want, but first you need to understand one thing: the person buying you isn't dumb, he has to feel like it's worth it. So how do you make him feel it's worth it? You've got to have the basics covered, but beyond that, it's all about emotional value. That's what you have to offer, and that's the key.
I don't know if some girls are just out of their minds. A lot of them come to me asking why they can't find a partner, insisting that their conditions aren't excessive at all. But honestly, I think they can't find anyone because they totally deserve it. They're bringing it on themselves.
I'm 1.6 meters tall, and I'm looking for someone who's 1.75 meters. That's pretty normal, right? Not too much to ask, is it?
Do you think that's reasonable or not? You're 1.6 meters tall. Finding someone who's 1.7 meters should be enough. Do your own qualities even match up to that? And you still want a tall, rich, handsome guy?
I earn 5,000 yuan a month, and I'm looking for a guy who makes 10,000 a month. I have a car but no house, so I absolutely need to find someone who is both a car and a house. That's not too much to ask, right?
Why should they be twice as good as you? Are you twice as pretty as them? Yet you still demand they have a car and a house. Do they owe you something? Don't you think that's a bit too much?
A
30-year-old outstanding woman brought her medical report to a blind date, yet no one wanted her. Take last week, for example. A woman born in 1994, working in the public sector, 1.64 meters tall, good-looking, and owning a mortgaged apartment. She brought her medical report, hoping to find a local guy from Jifu district. Her requirements: the man should earn at least 500,000 yuan annually, look sunny and handsome, and be either her age or 1 to 2 years older. Plus, his parents must be retired from the public sector. Logically, her conditions should make her a hot catch in some markets. But most of the guys she's interested in show no interest in return. Guys generally believe that older women come with 3 hidden pitfalls. First, their age is a disadvantage unless they can offset it with assets or a stellar career. Second, high-quality men their age have already been snapped up by younger women. Third, the more elite the guy, the pickier he is about details.
It's no wonder men are getting more hesitant to marry. Marriage scams these days are just too sophisticated. On a certain legal document website, there are over 110,000 recorded cases of marriage fraud, with the majority of scammers being women. In the past, scams were mostly run through marriage agencies. Shady matchmakers would set up introductions, and after a meeting they'd demand a bride price, only to disappear once they got the money. But today's scams are far cleverer. They start with a seemingly normal relationship, during which they'll ask you for money or gifts, using all sorts of tactics to get you to transfer funds. They might even guilt you into sending 5,201,314 yuan on Valentine's Day, a number symbolizing "I love you forever" in Chinese, or push you to become the top spender in their live streaming rooms. Once you're basking in the sweetness of impending marriage, a few months later, they'll force a divorce with bizarre excuses like incompatible personalities. By the time you realize you've been scammed, it's too late. Money, gifts, bride price, and post-marriage expenses are all nearly impossible to recover. In the end, you're left swallowing the bitter pill in silence.
The video is coming to an end, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I'll keep updating with content you love, and your support is my biggest motivation to keep going. Also, feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments. I'll be picking some of your feedback from there, and those selected will get a mysterious reward from me.